Again, I welcome to this online classroom teaching. I am Professor Kamakhi Prasad Das. In today's class, I will teach you again about Chandragupta Maurya and his enthronement. How Chandragupta Maurya's enthronement was in controversy, that would be in today's topic, and his other conquest. Students, the date of enthronement of Chandragupta Maurya is still in dark, but most of the historians believe that his accession took place in between 323 BC to 321 BC, and before his accession he consolidated his position in northern India, as I told you earlier, by uprooting the Nanda dynasty as per situation. But some writers hold the opinion that Dhanananda was allowed to leave Pataliputra after his defeat. But whatever the fact may be, it is true that Chandragupta Maurya defeated Dhanananda and established his new capital at Pataliputra. Though some writers say that Chandragupta Maurya succeeded in his attempt in overthrowing Nandas with the help of the Machiavellian diplomacy of Chanakya, but some other writers do not agree with this fact. According to them, Chanakya had no role to play in the success of Chandragupta Maurya. It is evident from various sources that in the battle of Chandragupta Maurya that he met in the battlefield with Nanda dynasty, 100 crores of soldiers, 10,000 of elephants, 100,000 of horses, 5,000 of chariots were killed in the battlefield. After this battle, Chandragupta Maurya made himself the ruler from Punjab to Magadha and extended his kingdom with all his influence. Now, I would like to flash back his achievement. So, here you can see, before proving his excellency in Magadha, Chandragupta liberated his country from the foreign yoke. As you know, I had discussed earlier. So, during this time, he defeated the Greek generals. The Greek generals, after the death of their masters, Alexander, divided the master's kingdom among themselves according to the Treaty of Triparadisus. According to the Treaty of Triparadisus. This treaty did not mention about Sindh province during this time. So, during this critical juncture, another incident took place that Chandragupta Maurya exploited the situation by taking the weak position of these generals and attacked their country. And at this time, taking advantage of the weakness of the Greek generals, Chandragupta Maurya attacked their territory and he first conquered Sindh from the Macedonian garrison in 321 BC. This is clear from the fact that when the Greek generals of Alexander divided the empire owned by their master by the partition treaty of Triper-Dionysus in 321 BC, they did not mention about Sindh province, as I told you earlier. Then he conquered eastern Punjab up to the river Jhelum and made his position quite secure in India, and the border areas of our country were quite safe. In this phase, Chandragupta Maurya materialized the things very carefully with the help of his Prime Minister Chanakya. And some contemporary sources says that Chandragupta Maurya could have done things which could not have been done by Ambi, Puru or Agramos, etc., who were once upon a time had a influence over the Indian countries, Indian states. According to one professors, it was the conquest of Punjab that provided Chandragupta Maurya with a nucleus power with which he could successfully uproot the Nanda rulers. Then Chandragupta Maurya started war with Seleucus. As you know, Seleucus was also a Greek general and a Greek ruler also. So Seleucus, otherwise known as the Nicator, in 306 BC, with his high ambitious and determined character, after defeating Antigonus and correctly described as the king of Western Asia, had already established his supremacy over Baluchistan, then Babylonia, Bactria, Afghanistan, and in the surrounding areas. With all his glory, Seleucus wanted to recover the Indian territories that were conquered by his master previously, but with no luck. And what happened then, we will discuss in my next period. Seleucus, how invaded India and how he had treaties with Chandragupta Maurya, that I will speak in my next period. Thank you.